What's good, YouTube? It's Rahclipz back with it again. Today we're gonna be reacting to Casually Explained Billionaires. Now, there's not really much to say. I'm not gonna lie. But if you got $1 billion, cash at me $1 million, or you're poor. Let's get into it. Like, subscribe. Trying to hit 300 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the support, and yeah, let's get into it.
Now, the difference between an average person and a billionaire
Why didn't you like and subscribe yet? Hit that like button!
is essentially zero. Unfortunately, about 9 of them. Nevertheless, if you're a regular person, you walk around the same streets as both the Riff, the RAF, and professionals all the same. You probably know people who still live at home, friends slumming it with roommates, couples sharing a 2-bedroom, and high earners with a single family home, a dog, 2 kids, and the white picket fence, giving you a decent perspective of life for the average person. But when you're so rich that money basically doesn't matter, everything changes completely. One unavoidable characteristic of becoming a billionaire is that you end up in such an isolated social circle that you often cease to relate to the common person, and your life becomes unrecognizable.
One thing about like rich kids though, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Most of their friends or anybody they meet or come into contact with, especially like any adults that they meet, most likely just there for money. I'm not gonna lie. They're there for either money or whatever they can take advantage of you from. I'm not gonna lie. It's crazy. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's kind of just how like the brain works. I'm not gonna lie, but that's pretty sad.
For this reason, billionaires actually have more in common with the homeless than they do with most people. Doesn't pay taxes, undiagnosed mental illness, on the kind of drugs you don't even know how to get, and never even heard of the Epstein files. Now, it's natural to look at your life where you work 40 hours a week for just enough to scrape by and think, how does someone even get to be a billionaire in the first place? It's really pretty simple. At some point or another, we've all had the genius thought, what if 1 million people just gave me $1? It would barely inconvenience them, but then I would have
low
$1 million.
key. I'm not gonna lie, that's low key how streaming is. No, I'm not gonna say like everybody just like all streamers are rich or anything, but low key like for Kai and Aiden and all of them, bro, all the donations that they get from the text to speech, bro, dollar donations, just people to talk. They get so many of them per stream, it's crazy. And that's low key where a lot of their money comes from. Literally just random people giving them $1.
Stop at this fantasy, impressed by our own raw ingenuity. Some people throughout history have gone further, extrapolated on this scheme, and invented what is known today as a business. As an example, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph thought, what if you give me $16 every month and I mail you Shrek 2 on DVD? Easy 6.5 billion. Elon Musk said, what if you give me 8,000?
Yeah, just easy 6.5 billion, you know. Some slight, you know what I'm saying?
Dollars, and I pretend to give you a self-driving car every year for the next decade. Richest man on earth. Mark Zuckerberg said, what if I give you an app that collects all of your personal information in a giant database that I own, and you give me a heat lamp and a bowl of grasshoppers? To really drive home how much wealth billionaires have, when someone says they're a billionaire, they're one of only 800 people in the United States. In contrast, if someone says they're a millionaire, it means they have a house. Well, politically, it's commonplace.
That's crazy how the economy is now, bro. Especially if you're living in like New York, up north or somewhere, in California, bro, too. Like, you could be a literal millionaire and still be living like the average person. Like, I couldn't spend my whole life in like New York or like New Jersey or anywhere like that, bro. Like, the housing market is crazy. The economy's wild up there, bro. Oh my gosh, I muted it.
Epitomize late-stage capitalism. I don't make fun of billionaires because I have an ideological bone to pick. I make fun of them because they're really fucking weird. Recently, Peter Thiel, a tech billionaire and right-wing ideas guy, appeared on a podcast and was asked,
I don't think I've ever seen like a regular billionaire, bro. You think they be like seeing stuff that nobody else sees, bro? You know what I'm saying? I feel like they be seeing some crazy stuff. Like maybe it's something that causes them to go crazy. To this day, I've never seen like just a regular billionaire. Maybe Jeff Bezos, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Jeff Bezos do anything like real crazy.
If he thought the human race should survive. He then stammered over the question for 15 seconds before reluctantly answering with the classic, yes, but. Now, I'm no expert in media training, but as I frequently tell Putin, Hamas, and Benjamin Netanyahu on our weekly Zoom meetings, the correct answer to human rights questions is always to say yes right away, and only reveal later that you had your fingers crossed out of frame. Billionaires like Thiel are almost alarmingly out of touch with how to communicate with the general public, because even though he can understand a regular
That's another thing, bro. They can never just give a yes or no answer, bro. I don't know what it is, but like just the yes or no answer is just completely out of their mind. They have to go on some minute-long speech and then talk about the world and the economy, and then still not say yes or no at the end. Like, it's wild.
Conceptually, he can't relate to them on a personal level.
That's just any yapper in general,
I get really hot at night when I go to bed, so I like to turn the temperature way down. Whereas Thiel prefers to sleep in a deep freezer, he lays down like a sarcophagus.
The hell?
Now, the good news is that not all billionaires base their whole personality on World of Warcraft expansions and name their company after the magic rock Sauron used to corrupt weak minds and manipulate their will. Warren Buffett, for example, has not only pledged all of his wealth to charity after he dies, but he also still lives a very humble life in his house in Omaha that he bought in 1958 using the change he picked up off the ground. Nevertheless, most billionaires don't do much to shake off the public image that their whole existence is just about lording over their minimum wage warehouse workers as they Zillow the next 2,000 hectares.
If you're a billionaire and you have billions and billions of dollars, bro, I don't think I've ever seen anything about Elon Musk donating to charity. If all these people like with money came together, you know how much money can be raised for charity, bro? It's their money, you know what I'm saying? They don't have to spend it. But like, I'm just saying, if I was a billionaire, I'd be giving millions to charity. I'm not gonna lie. Elon Musk could give like a whole 500 million away and not care. Like, it wouldn't do anything to him at all.
What pleasure it brings them to see the peasants toiling for their coin. But this isn't how billionaires run companies. This is how Mr. Beast comes up with video ideas. The ethical question of should there be billionaires at all is one of the most hot button issues around right now because wealth inequality has been steadily increasing decade over decade, and many people believe that billionaires don't pay their fair share. This is of course ridiculous, as billionaires get divorced all the time. With that said, it is a common belief that if the government were to confiscate everyone's personal wealth above $999 million, this would lead to a dramatic improvement in the standard of living for the average person. Problem is, even if you were to yoink
The problem with the question though is like, for there to be an upper class, there literally has to be a lower class. You know what I'm saying? If everybody becomes rich, bro, the economy will literally fail. Because if everybody just walking around with $1 million, you know what I'm saying, then it's not valuable anymore. But if you have this lower class, all these people who barely even make like $50,000 a year or $60,000 a year, you know what I'm saying? $1 million sounds like a dream to them. And I might just be yapping right now, and I might not know what I'm talking about, but yeah.
Stock, bond, and square inch of real estate a billionaire owns, liquidate all of it to straight cash while somehow getting market value, in the US you would get about $6.22 trillion, which would cover 11 months of government spending, or every person in the country would get a one-time payment of around $18,000. While this is nothing to scoff at, if you're one of the people who says we should eat the rich, it's important to consider that the average inheritance in the US is $46,000, meaning you would make more money if you ate
I did not
just
know
one of
that.
your
I did not know that. Dang.
parents. Now, because they can't yet buy more of it, billionaires are experts at managing their time. While flying private is out of reach for most of us, there are other tips you can copy from billionaires to save time in your own life. For example, when I make a new account on a website, I save time by letting Chrome auto-generate an encrypted password. I got this idea from There's still plenty of side quests for
Hey, you gotta be quicker with the ads, my nigga. I'm not gonna lie. You gotta be quicker. I see it coming from a mile away.
you to do. While most regular people spend their time playing video games, doing arts and crafts, or playing a sport, billionaires can choose more exotic things like getting bullied on Twitter, criticizing the Chinese government exactly one time, paying pro athletes to make you feel talented, leaving the planet in search of any novelty that will make the emptiness go away, paying to boost your Path of Exile account, then streaming it to prove to anyone who doubted your multidisciplinary genius that they were in fact correct, exploring the bottom of the ocean to uncover its lost secrets, and of course exploring the bottom of the ocean and—
Oh my gosh. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, bro. That was crazy. What were they trying to find? Were they just like in a I forgot what the submarine thing was about. I just remember it was like a bunch of billionaires in a like submarine, and then it imploded on itself at like a certain depth.
and dying instantly. In reality, when you're worth even hundreds of millions of dollars, an ultimately rookie amount,
And ultimately rookie amounts. I'm not gonna lie, when I imagine this dude's voice, I imagine like low-key like a high school teacher, but like one of them like funny high school teachers, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Imagine the dude behind this account is like secretly a trillionaire. He thinks just all billionaires are below him.
you want. Penthouses, luxury cars, private chef, private plane, giant house, and another giant house in a poor country that kinda sucks but has good weather, and you're not sure if purchasing power parity means the gardeners are getting paid well by their standards.
How did they build that, bro? That's actually kind of impressive, I'm not gonna lie.
Or if you just own slaves. With this in mind, if you are a billionaire, it's actually pretty hard to think of a way to flex on multimillionaires, meaning the 23-year-olds on Raya who look like they're 35 aren't going to message you back. That is, of course, until you remember what separates the centimillionaires from the billionaires. Big boat. Ask a girl if she'd rather be stuck in the middle of a forest with a random bear or a random man, and she picks the bear every time. Ask a girl if she'd rather be stuck in the middle of the ocean with a random shark or stuck in the middle of the ocean with a random Saudi man, and she picks Muhammad every time. This is because men in the forest are broke, meaning they'll try to touch your boob, whereas men on yachts are rich, meaning they have grown weary of material desires and flew you out business class for your quirky personality. While no one has tried to sex traffic me yet, the closest I've been able to get so far was when I was on a holiday in France several years ago.
Low-key, I changed my mind, bro. Oh, at this point, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I've started thinking like Sai from Naruto. Like, he has no emotion, just says whatever comes to mind. He's one of them niggas.
And made a day trip to Monaco. Now, for people not in the know, Monaco
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Monaco, I want to go to Monaco so bad. That's a nice ass country. And it's Islamic too, bro. I love, bro. The outside looking in, I love to go to Monaco. I'm not gonna lie.
is a tiny sovereign nation basically inside France, and is like a Vatican City tax haven for the ultra wealthy. They have a little garden you can look at near the Monte Carlo casino, which was the only thing I could afford. And as you walk through, you're like, oh, look, a little building. Hopefully this one's a bathroom. Nope, just another Audemars Piguet watch kiosk. Then you pee on it anyway because you're in Europe. Other than this neat oceanographic museum, what I thought was the coolest part of Monaco was
one thing about me, bro. Not this exact building, but like, let's say you have a house on the hills, right? Are y'all not like afraid that like over time, like the hill's gonna get like slimmer and slimmer, and eventually like your house is just gonna fall off? That's a huge fear of mine, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe there's more to it though, cause like when I was 6 years old, I used to think that quicksand was gonna be like a daily occurrence. I thought quicksand was just gonna be like an everyday life problem. Which obviously is not, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like what if one day the rocks just get too weak and the whole mountain just like falls down, you know what I'm saying? I'd be scared.
What I thought was the coolest part of Monaco was the port, which was divided into sections based on how important people in Monaco thought you were.
What?
In the very inner part of the harbor, you have the literal
What? That's wild.
wage slave section, which is basically all the yachts that I would see back home. Then there's Worthless, which had the biggest yachts I have
Dang.
ever seen in real life prior to this. After that, you have Starter Yacht, which are like floating New York City penthouses. Then the last section in the harbor is, finally, a real yacht, which is one giant pier for the 2 or 3 mega yachts that rule the Monaco postcard photo and cost at least $100 million each. Obviously, you don't stop there because these things are a dime a dozen. So then you go out in the ocean and you get, what is this, a harbor for ants? Now you might be thinking what I was thinking at the time, which was, even if you were a billionaire, why on earth would you want a mega yacht so big you can't even park it in the harbor? Exactly, to store your other yachts in, Brokey, get
What? What? I ain't gonna lie, that's low-key a flex, nigga. A yacht that's there for the sole purpose just to store your other yachts. That's wild, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Our DoorDasher needs to hurry up. Imagine the reason you have to store your other yachts is because those yachts are too big to fit on that harbor, you know what I'm saying? That's a flex, my nigga. That's a flex.
At this point, I too was wondering how I could acquire a Russian nesting yacht.
Yo, maybe I should build like a little pier for like rich people, and then I charge them like $100,000 a day to store their yachts there. You know what I mean? I'm putting y'all on game, bro. I'm putting y'all on game. That's the money glitch.
Until I was like, speaking of, what's that? And maybe a few kilometers farther out from the shore was
Watch
this
me
thing,
call it.
which is the world's largest sailing yacht, and in the top 5 most expensive yachts ever built. It's owned by Andrei Melnichenko and designed by the guy who made this cool lemon squeezer that my mom just bought. Even though
This is what I be talking about, bro. The niggas who own this stuff that are just a part of your everyday life, bro, those are the richest people in the world. Those are the real billionaires, you know what I'm saying? Like, who owns that water bottle sitting right there, you know what I'm saying? The rich people behind the scenes are the ones that are rich, bro.
Forgotten the oligarch class yacht existed, this guy claims he doesn't even have ties to the Russian state, making him just a regular unimportant billionaire. This argument, of course, didn't work on the Italian government after Russia invaded Ukraine because they saw the yacht parked outside their shoreline and said, yoink. Which brings us to the true top of the hierarchy, which isn't who owns the biggest yacht, it's who owns the biggest ocean.
I'd have to go to war with the rest of myself after that, I'm not gonna lie.
And you know what that means. That's right, baby, the taxpayer wins again. Checkmate, billionaires, me and the boys have once.
Yo, this looks just like the, what's it called? The shield thing off of Marvel, bro? I'm gonna edit it in. I'm gonna edit a picture of it in. But it looks just like the Avengers aircraft, bro.
Again, risen to the top. Now, if you're looking to...
Yep.
Oh, oops, wrong.
Fuck off my screen, nigga. Alright. Let me know what y'all think about this video down below. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe, bro. Please. Hit that like button and subscribe right now. I'm begging you, bro. Let me know how y'all feel about the video. And yeah, peace out.